Good morning, glad you could join us. I want to share a story today that I picked up from Max Lucado from his book entitled Grace. I like what it says in John chapter 14, verse 20. At that day you will know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. God wants to have an intimate relationship with us. I like what Max says. When grace happens, it's not like it's a compliment, but God gives us a new heart. You can call it a spiritual heart transplant. Some of you have heard me say that before. So often we talk about that we give our heart to Christ, but we give it to Him, and He doesn't just like clean it up. He gives us a new heart. I'm not making this stuff up. It says in Jeremiah chapter 31 that there's going to be this new covenant, and that's the age that we live in. And in this new covenant that He gives us like a new heart, and that's backed up with what it says in Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 26. Spiritual heart transplant. And the other thing about it that's really cool is that it's renewable. Like in Psalm 51, create in me a clean heart, and then restore unto me. So even at that, like, because sometimes people are like, well, a long time ago I had this experience with Jesus, but, it's not so good right now. God wants it to be good. God totally wants His connect with you to be good. So I want to tell you the story of a family. They went through a lot. Tara Storch is this woman's name, and in 2010, a skiing accident took the life of her 13-year-old daughter, Taylor. And it's just the unthinkable, and most of us know people who've gone through something like that in some way, shape, or form. Some of us are closer than others to people who've gone through things like that. But it's a parent's worst nightmare. I mean, you've got the funeral, the burial, just questions, and so many different things. But one thing that Tara and her husband Todd had done, and they decided to donate their daughter's organs to people who really needed them. And there's, in this case, they knew exactly who the heart went to. It was somebody who really needed one. Her name was Patricia Winters. Her heart had begun to fail 5 years earlier, and she was too weak to do much anything other than to sleep. And Tara's heart gave Patricia a fresh start on life. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. It's an awesome thing. But Tara just had one request. And you might think it's a little crazy, but her request was this. She wanted to hear the heart of her daughter. And so they flew from Dallas to Phoenix, and they went to Patricia's home to listen to Taylor's heart. And so the two mothers embraced for a long time, just as probably moms would in a situation like that. And then Patricia offered Tara and Todd a stethoscope. Think about that. And so they listened to a healthy rhythm, but whose heart did they hear? Did they not hear the still beating heart of their daughter? And see, here's the question. That because of what God has done for us, when somebody listens to our heart, do they hear our heart, or do they hear the new heart that Jesus gave us? Because not only has He given us a new heart, He's given us His Spirit, He's given us His DNA. Can you try to think today about how real that is? That as real as it was for Tara and Todd to hear Taylor's heart beating in Patricia's chest, that's how real it is that God has given us His heart. Do I always feel it? No. But do I surprise myself sometimes with compassion? I do. But I know where it comes from. It comes from Him. Do you surprise yourself sometimes with the compassion, with what you want to do for somebody else? That is the very heart of Jesus pounding in your chest. Listen to the heart of Jesus within you. God has written His laws and His love deep within your being. Allow it to come out this week. God bless you. Have a great week.